Look, if you drive for DoorDash as a DoorDash Dasher, just last week, the company made some pretty astounding announcements and actually new records in their Q1 2022 earnings call. And of course, directly addressing you, commenting directly towards DoorDash Dashers. But there's also a pretty massive thing that they didn't say. Now, with all that being said, I know you don't have time to watch the whole call necessarily. Maybe you do. We live stream it every quarter, but it's like over an hour. So here's the thing. I have a list here of the most important points. You can listen to this while you're dashing, while you're taking a break, or even if you're just considering signing up for DoorDash. This tells us a lot. So listen to this. So number one, and this is coming straight from their C-suite executives, either Tony Xu, the CEO, or Prabir Adhikar, their CFO. Listen to this. So Prabir said in Q1 of 2022, we're now into Q2, of course, at the time of filming this video, DoorDash had lower Dasher costs and the lowest cost ever to acquire new Dashers. So if you're new, pay attention to that. So what does that mean if they're paying less to acquire new Dashers? Either, or they're paying less for advertising. So they don't need to, web advertising, wherever it may be. And they also might not have to pay as much for sign-on bonuses. So think about that. Comment down below. In fact, if you just signed up for DoorDash and you did get a sign-on bonus, I'm curious, like some kind of incentive, or if you didn't. Number two, growing margin and market share, and especially investing in US restaurants. This is big because this is kind of the inverse of what Uber said on their Q1 call. Uber said, we don't really care about market share. Well, DoorDash says, okay, well, we're growing market share and we're investing in US restaurants. What does that mean? That kind of points us insofar as DoorDash is kind of still the best food delivery side hustle app. Number three, DoorDash is the number one player in the convenience space. So what does this tell you as a Dasher? So these are stores, right? It's not restaurants. They have the restaurant verticals when they talk about this stuff. Convenience, probably, Rite Aid, CVS, Walgreens, things like that. They're Dash Marts, Dasher storefronts, all these kind of things, is they are looking to grow this. And I look to see this vertical really be the focus in 2022 into 2023. New records for DoorDash. These are huge metrics. Lean in for this, listen to this, drop a like on this video if you appreciate me getting this content for you. But they had all-time record highs in 3 categories. MAU, monthly active users, all-time high, Q1 of 2022. Dash Pass, which is their monthly subscription service. You sign up, you pay a fee every month. This is on the consumer end, of course. And you don't got to pay, as much service fees, delivery fees, what have you. And then number 3, order frequency. So, actually, basket size increased as well. That's just, obviously how much you have in your order flow there. I believe that was a 3 or 7% increase. But MAU, Dash Pass, and order frequency were an all-time high. This tells us, again, as a Dasher, if you're considering this stuff, is it's honestly been busier than ever. And the numbers literally support that. They have more monthly active users. They have more users committing to DoorDash with Dash Pass, and they're ordering more. So order frequency tells us, all right, someone that's ordering 1 time a week, maybe they're ordering like 1.5 times, like once one week and twice the next week. So that's big. Your rewards when it comes to DoorDash Dashers. So this was something, again, directly related to you as a DoorDash Dasher. Listen to this. So the DoorDash Rewards program, when asked, how was that going when facing rising inflation? And Prabir, their CFO, said they're really eating the cost on that, and they're continuing the Dasher Rewards program. If you didn't know, DoorDash extended their gas rewards program until August, and this is just their at-large rewards program. So even with rising inflation, they're sticking to keeping this rewards program, albeit with rising inflation. Nextly, going back to really some of those record numbers, the most new consumers since Q1 of 2021, a year ago. Now, listen, I'll be real with you. You're probably thinking, like, why does this really matter to me? Why does this matter if I'm a DoorDash Dasher, right? Well, not only does this tell us how's the company doing, is it remaining busy? Should I continue to expect orders? Because if, let's say, that MAU, that monthly active users, and or the order frequency is dropping, then people are probably going to a different app. That's not the case. And then moreover, again, the most new consumers since last year, that matters because listen, folks, 2020 was really the busiest year that I can remember. With pandemic forcing shutdowns of restaurants, you can't dine in. What are you going to do? If you want that food, you have to do takeout. So 2020 rather was the peak. 2021 is still busy, especially Q1. This is Q1 and they beat Q1 of 2021. So to beat that now in 2022, when we're really back to normal in most all marketplaces, that's big. Nextly, going after the low hanging fruit when it comes to improvement areas. They were asked this by some of their shareholders. What are some of the low hanging improvement opportunities? And DoorDash stated wait times, a huge thing that you don't want to deal with, and improving accuracy on the app as well. So that's kind of one and the same. If DoorDash can improve the accuracy of when is that order actually ready, when are we going to assign that or send out that request to you, the Dasher, and then minimizing any of that lag in between, it's less wait time for you. And look, folks, you can do, 2 to 4 deliveries an hour. Depends on your marketplace. Depends how short the run is. But if they can minimize wait times, then not every hour, let's be real here, not every hour, but sometimes you might be able to squeeze another order in because you're waiting for like 25 minutes somewhere. Well, hopefully not that long, but throughout the entire shift, let's say 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 12 minutes there, that could add up. Nextly, when it comes to that monthly subscription with Dash Pass, so they're focusing on exclusive experiences for those monthly pass holders. It makes sense. That's kind of the premium whenever it comes to margin. And, those consumers have committed to just using DoorDash. 14% of the orders outside of the restaurant verticals come from those Dash Pass subscription holders. So that is something we need to track closely. The more, and Uber said the same thing, folks, by the way. Uber said we need to get people on, I think it's Uber One, which is their subscription service, because these companies want a foothold on the consumer, because then that consumer is like, if I'm paying $20 a month for Uber One or Dash Pass, whatever it is, they're going to put their money into that company. And then listen to this. Again, Prabir Adhikar, DoorDash's CFO, said that their core U.S. restaurant business, their restaurant business vertical is profitable. This is honestly, a huge argument against a lot of these gig companies is profitability. So Prabir said, look, our U.S. vertical is profitable, but he said they're investing those profits back into the business. And I said this during our live stream call. Click that bell, of course, after you subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of the team here. But I said during our initial call is on the books, if these companies don't show profitability, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, look, I'm not a financial analyst. It's never legal, professional, financial, or investing advice, but I've seen this before. Amazon is always the biggest example of a company that wasn't initially profitable because they were doing just this, reinvesting into the business. Now, think of this. How long has DoorDash even been a public company? Not long. Now, conversely, bringing it back to you, how long are you going to do this? Actually, I'm pretty curious about that. Comment down below. As in a side hustle. And then specifically, of course, DoorDash, dashing, right? Comment that down below. But this may only be a temporary thing. Maybe while you're looking for work, DoorDash says that a lot of Dashers do it in financial hardships, if you're saving up for a large purchase, again, paying off credit cards, whatever it may be. But if you're only doing this for another 3 to 6 months, or if you're just getting started, you're like, I'm going to do this maybe 6 months, 8 months at max. Here's what I would tell you to do. Here's the real thing that you can do in the immediate term is when you're driving, looking at the order volume on the same days and the same times. Because if you mix that stuff up, then it's going to get a little bit more tricky. It's still not completely scientific, but hear me out. So if you drive on Saturdays, right, 4 to 8, a strong dinner rush shift, just keep an eye throughout the weeks and try to understand, okay, DoorDash, from what I just told you, is staying busy. They have more customers than ever, more monthly active users, more new customers. am I seeing the same thing in my marketplace? You can measure that by bonus pay. If it's busy enough, they should be giving you bonus pay. If it's busy enough, you should stay consistent with orders. If it's busy enough, you should only wait like 1 to 3 minutes in between orders. And if you're not, I mean, again, I'm just saying, consider subscribing here. Watch our DoorDash playlist for these best practices of how to make the most money here. And if you want the fast track, look, to dominate these food delivery apps, it doesn't matter what it is. Take our course, Mastering Delivery. That can be found at yourdrivermight.com/delivery. So you can basically cut the line and know what you need to know here. But let me know the biggest standouts in this announcement. A whole hour call condensed in just a few minutes for you of what actually matters. My biggest takeaway is, even more surprising than I thought, is that DoorDash is doing pretty good when it comes to operations, at least. Again, I mean, you can look at their entire accounting documents as a public company. You can go into that if you want. But based on just some of the data that we saw in this quarter, in prior quarterly calls, is the volume is there. The market share speaks for itself. I mean, the data that we've tracked over the years when it comes to market share is DoorDash is doing pretty well. Again, at least operationally. Let me know if you agree with that down below in the comments. But hopefully this did provide you value. If it did, drop a like on this video. It does help out the channel and this video greatly. Really appreciate that. And you can also click or tap the screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.